Hey YouTube, welcome back to Universe X, and today we are going to talk about a unexpected turn of events. Didn't want to double post today, however, we randomly did just get a kind of like a leak, I suppose, not really leak, but you know, I guess we've been getting announcements on Facebook. Well, sometimes we also see pages go live on the website, and what we have seen is a ban list. Now, I am hoping to goodness that this is not the final copy, because if it is, there are some things that I want to address later in the video. But we do have what looks to be the ban list for North American and Canadian nationals this year, and man, there is stuff to talk about. So we're gonna go over to that site. Saying that it's coming directly from the site, once again, I'm going to implore you guys to go over to the official Facebook group, give it a follow, give it a like, make sure you know that the website is the place you can find stuff like this. And if you want to discuss it, there are plenty of places, such as the unofficial Discord group, the unofficial discussion group, the unofficial Reddit, and the Universe X Discord. And then last but not least, if you want to support the channel, all you gotta do is go down, hit that subscribe button, like the video, comment on it, and eventually when I'm not swamped and uploading every single day, I will comment back. I swear it. It's happening. It's already happened with some of you guys. So let's hop over to the other view. It's like 5:04 in the morning. I haven't slept yet, and let's jump into these reveals for the ban list. All right, so here we go. Announcement: ban limited errata card updates. Greetings, Dragon Ball Super card game fans. On October 28th, 2022, 2 ban cards, 1 limited card, and 5 errata cards will be added to the ban/limited/errata cards list. That is indeed today. It is 5 in the morning. So like I said, I don't know if this is accidental, because normally we've been getting these posts on Facebook. So hopefully, like I said, fingers crossed, this is not the final version. However, going over this, what we have here is, first, for ban cards, we've got Heartfelt Plea. Reason: presence of BT8110 Super Saiyan 4 Son Goku. Heartfelt Plea has been monitored since it was first limited. Due to the high power of Zenkai cards, making this card easier to play than ever before, we decided to ban this card. Yeah, it's not really a matter of RNG anymore. If you see this card before you awaken, the Zenkai cards will allow you to play it. It is just as simple as that. So this guy was almost like another secret rare. You literally just found a Zenkai card, or as long as you could draw this guy, you would just like open up and you would have a Giga plus awakening turn, because generally nobody's trying to take life in the face of a triple strike. So 9 times out of 10, if you're playing a deck that was that aggressive to pop this out, then you're just drawing 2 cards plus your awakening turn. It's just a massive swing. So I get this. Next card, you've got King Piccolo New Ruler. The presence of King Piccolo New Ruler has been monitored since it was first limited. In order to increase diversity in deck building, we decided to ban this card. I'm kind of weird on this one. I don't quite agree. I understand that it is powerful in the sense that it is essentially another Overrealm. If you do play Overrealms, you can't count this guy's presence. If your opponent has it, they just have access to another swing that you cannot count or see coming. You just have to kind of hope it's not there, and if they have it, they have it. So I definitely understand that. I'm just kind of in a weird space of just like, it's a one of, and it turns sideways and you can still negate it or out combo it. So I'm kind of just like, but I understand. I just don't quite think this is the most impactful card to hit. Next, this is surprising. Limited cards. You've got Yamcha, Merciless Barrage. Yamcha Merciless Barrage inhibits the power level of decks aiming to play mini battle cards, including several strategies present in Zenkai series. In order to allow these decks to be playable, we are limiting this card. So essentially, Yamcha was just busting the crap out of these evolve strategies, because in counter window 1, you can hit the evolve targets. Yeah. So that's pretty crazy. And on top of this, this just gave, with the presence of Gogeta SS4, the Unison, this just gave red even more defense. Like, this has always been one of those cards that kind of circumvenes the natural order of things. You had like Green Boo making the Gotenks, the Boo Tanks making the tokens, and then you just hit it with Yamcha and you'd minus 15 on both the Boo Tanks and the token, and bam, their crap is just evaporated. Like, this guy has always been really dumb, and he's gone in and out of the formats. It's just that now that we're starting to get decks that will make kind of low to the ground spam, this guy is officially too strong. And being Gogeta, you will likely be able to see, like, SS4 will see multiples of this card within the first like 4 turns of the game, and so he's always live. So I can understand why that happened too. It's just rather unfortunate. We're starting to see like red is clearly being targeted. The first 3 cards in this list are just strictly red. Next card, Senzu Bean. Now this is going to be huge. People have been calling for a Senzu Bean errata for a very long time, or it being banned. I personally thought it should have been errated to blue leaders only. I think that as long as you errata Senzu Bean to blue leaders, you don't worry about other decks like splashing in Senzu Bean when they shouldn't have access to energy untapping, like Gotenks, like red decks in general. Even yellow leaders. I think that Senzu Bean should have been errated to blue, but it looks like it's a little deeper than that. So Senzu Bean. The Senzu Bean has always been a powerful card in the Dragon Ball Super card game, but with the new interactions present in Zenkai series, players are able to greatly extend their turn and play strength by switching energy active mode on their turns. The change will allow BT1053 to still be a very powerful defensive tool for blue decks while eliminating its offensive capabilities. Front. Pre-errata text. You choose two, you tap it, tap your 1 energy, activate battle, choose up to 1 of your cards against 5k power for the duration of the turn, then choose up to 2 of your energy and switch them to active mode. Post-errata text, they just added a big fat if it's your opponent's turn. So you can no longer use offensive bean, and that is huge. That is absolutely huge. I do feel like, once again, this could have just been a limit to blue leaders only and we would have been fine, but they felt differently. And so they just nuked the entire thing. This is definitely going to change decks that splash bean. It's going to make it impossible. This is mainly looking at you, Vegito. Vegito will no longer be able to splash bean. If you do, it's only defensive, and I'm not sure if that's worth the slots in your deck. It could be though. But this is kind of an issue. Like, blue took an inadvertent hit because blue extending its like offensive capability with bean, I feel like just wasn't as bad as some of the other things. But granted, there could be some nasty sick combos, and we'll talk about some of the things, some of these culprits later. Moving on, we've got Violent Rays. This is funny. We got Violent Rays. Reason: when this was released, few strategies revolved around attacking with multiple battle cards of 20k power or more in a turn. Since the release of Zenkai series, this card disrupts several deck strategies, and proven more powerful than intended. This change will still allow red deck players to stop the highest power attack plays, but not interfere with all strategies. So basically, too many cards are 20k right now, which made Violent Rays the best floodgate in the game, which means they had to drop it a peg in order to only really hit boss cards. So now what this thing now does is, before it hit 20k power or more for both battle cards and unisons, now it hits 30k power. I have never seen a 30k power unison that wasn't a secret rare, but things like Gogeta can do it, but it doesn't even hurt things like Gogeta, because Gogeta will swing as a 15k and then activate battle into a 30k. So half his effect is useless, but then the 30k power is pretty wild, because there's a lot of stuff that is going to swing right under Violent Rays now, and that's wild. Now moving over, you've got this Beerus the Visitor card. This makes sense to me. Reason: Beerus the Visitor has printed allowed a player to draw many cards per turn with high consistency. This interaction was not intended, and we are issuing an errata to eliminate it. So if you guys didn't know, this guy was able to draw a card and then you place this card from your hand in energy mode, but you can only do it once per turn. So when you do this, the main issue is if you have 5 open energy and you played a Beerus' turn, you are able to tap as many energies as you want to keep trying to resolve this effect and keep drawing. As many energy as you have, you'll be able to keep drawing. And so now it needs to be put into your energy and rest mode, then you draw a card. And they put that as the cost. So if you can't put Beerus into energy, you will not draw a card, meaning no extra cards. This one is huge, my guys. You got a Vegeta Resolve Renewed, and basically they just change it. So if your leader card is a Vegito card, that is right, a staple red card for sets and sets now is now Vegito only. So yeah. They said Resolve Renews become used in almost all red decks in Zenkai series. In order to promote more deck building diversity, we have decided to errata this card. Okay, well, I mean, we still got Riposte, and we still got Dormant, we still got all these things that are 4-ofs in other decks, so it's just kind of weird. But this card was very strong and allowed red to always have a clapback out to almost every floodgate in the game. So I'm not really happy that this is gone, but I also am not really sad it's gone like that either. Vegito just kind of has an exclusive card now. Next, you've got Broly Crown of Retribution. This card has proven too powerful and played without paying its energy cost, so we decided to errata the card to balance it. And the errata is this card cannot be played by skills from any area. So basically, just Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta is no longer playing this guy for free. That's literally it. That's it. So, we are dedicated to developing a game that Dragon Ball fans and card game fans alike can enjoy. Thank you for your continued support of Dragon Ball Super, the card game. And yeah, that's it. That's that team. So this is pretty interesting, and we're going to talk about some of the ramifications of this in one moment. Okay, so there's a lot that this is going to do. The first and foremost thing that comes to mind when I look at this list is that Sin has become Sin was almost untouched. As lots of you guys who've been testing know, Sin could play kind of two routes, right? You could either play the Unison build, which did allow you lots of the defenses that this would have. You'd play the Yamchas, or if you played a 3-drop, like if you play Gogeta, you were able to play like, you know, just the Yamchas and whatnot. And you still had your Violent Rays and you had your Resolve Renews, if you so chose. And then when you played the 3-drops, you know, you could play Videl instead if you so chose. Now that you have Yamcha at 1, New Ruler banned, and Violent Rays changed dramatically, and Resolve Renewed gone over to Vegito only, what you're looking at is Sin reverting to its other build, which is red, yellow, aggro with no unisons, which arguably most people who play Sin could probably tell you that's the better build before this nerf. The deck could put out incredible amounts of pressure on turn 2 and 3, resulting in you opening up to your 3 energy with 2 life, and you know the deck is full of double strikes and triple strikes, and there's a whole lot of crit involved. It can get very, very nasty, and so I am very, very upset if this is the final list, because nothing was done to touch Sin, and now Sin is de facto, like, there are 2 decks that are just probably head and shoulders above most decks. So Sin's one of them. The other one is Vegito, in my opinion. Vegito is very, very, it can awaken at 8 life. I mean, it's drawing most of its deck. It runs into decking out more often than not. The leader has barrier bouncing, like it's able to bounce cards to hand through barrier while drawing 2, which is insane. It's able to put massive triple strikes on board, some of them with barrier, some of them with other effects, some of them destruction. The deck mid-battle for 2 energy can just come over and just scoop your crap up. Like, it is actually a menace. And on top of that, if you're running Power of Potara, you can play Power of Potara for the free, and then you can just end up destroying your opponent's life. Like, you literally just end up, well, I mean, not for the free, but you end up tapping them out, because Vegeta, Power of Potara Vegeta will just tap 4 permanents. So I do think that Vegito may edge out Sin if the pilot is correct, but Sin and Vegito are probably top of the format going into Nats for us now. Now, outside of that, you may wonder what's going on with Gogeta. Well, Gogeta just lost all of its defenses. You're still going to use the Gogeta Unison simply because it's broken for your deck, or it's good for your deck, but you don't have Resolve Renewed anymore. Violent Rays doesn't work the same way it does. You can't cantrip all into New Ruler and just slam him down. And on top of that, you're also missing Heartfelt Plea. Like, there's a bunch of stuff that you can no longer do. And because of that, because of most of that being defensive, you are in a position where you just, oh yeah, and Crown has changed. You're in a position where Gogeta is going to be still very, very hyper aggressive, but it's not going to have any way to defend itself. And without Resolve Renewed being in the deck, you are now going to be at the mercy of most floodgates, which is a problem for the deck as well. We're just at a point where Gogeta is way more flimsy, and while it still has most of its offense, it doesn't have its defense, meaning you're going to have to defensively combo a lot more, which is eventually going to lead you to a burnout in hand, and its hand size with its power in its terms of applicable combo energy. So this is kind of a problem for it. Outside of that, all of red pretty much is in a dumpster fire. If your red deck was good, well, congratulations. You can't side Crown or main Crown because Crown sucks now. JK, you could still do it, and it's the same way. You're missing out on Yamchas, and unless you were going on a 3 unison or 3-drop unison build, that just completely craps on you. Violent Rays doesn't work the way it used to. You lost Resolve Renewed. Most red decks that aren't Sin and Gogeta just took massive L's that they will not recover from until next season, if I'm not mistaken. Past that, looking at Blue. Blue needed a touch or 2. Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, like Rise of the Super Warrior, is getting out of hand. That's the card that you play. It has no protection, but it's a 6-drop, and you look at your top 4 cards, and if they're whatever blue ones, you can split between your hand and your energy. There are turns where you are literally playing that Vegeta for 6, adding 2 energy, and then playing your secret rare Goku, Kakin Goku, untapping all your energy, and then playing Android 17 to just wipe your opponent's hand. And you have like a blocker, you have a crit 30k, and then you have your secret rare who's going to swing 3 times. That's a lot of assured damage. There literally is a lot of assured damage for not having a hand. You were literally about to get attacked with crit for 30k, then Raz the Super Warrior is going to swing, and then you're going to get swung 3 times long by a secret rare. It's a very, very strong game stroke. I'm not quite sure how I feel about that card not being touched, because yes, he has no protection, but what other deck was destroying a... the only deck that was stopping that dude is if you're running Cold Bloodlust, which, by the way, you know, limited, or if you're running God Sealing in an opposing blue deck. No other deck is stopping Vegeta from doing what he's doing, and so I kind of feel like that card should have definitely been on the list. It's a little too hazardous. Lots of people are calling for Blue Unison, but I honestly think that Blue Unison is blue stabilizing point, and there's nothing wrong with that. If they sink 4 into the right card, or the wrong card at the wrong time, they're gonna die. But if they don't, if they stabilize, that's what blue's supposed to do. Green, not really much to say. If blue starts rising, if blue and yellow start rising, green is probably going to get better due to sheer hand destruction and destruction through barrier. And then you have yellow, who hasn't been touched at all as well. Swift Retaliation Cooler probably needed to go, but Monkey, Goku, and in my opinion, I think Piccolo and Slug are both valid options. We're about to see a way more diverse nationals because of this. Black is kind of just sitting there with its thumbs up its butt, but at the same time, black is still strong. Black got some Smoke Dragon, which is good for everybody, but you know, it's always gonna be good to on color charge if you need to. That Black Mass Sand is very, very good. I think black is very, very sleeper. I think black is very, very rogue. But right now, if you're not green, you've got a running, I think. Red is de facto strongest between Vegito and Sin, but you also have just blue and yellow lurking right now. So that's my thoughts on the meta. I'm going to do probably a deeper video on it. Just let me know what your thoughts are. Like I said, like, comment, and if you're feeling it and you haven't already, maybe even subscribe. But yeah, it is 5:22. I need to edit this video. I am tired. I am flagging. And so I hope you guys have a great day.